Hi Techintalk, this is Usman, and today we are going to have another episode on Techintalk Sharp. Before that, let me give you an overview that there are a few changes we did in our C Sharp solution. Here you can see three different folders for now. One is general, second one is web API, and the third one is MVC, web MVC. So because we are learning C Sharp and there are different aspects of it, and there what we can say as there could be console applications, web applications, Windows services, and there will be Windows Forms, WPF applications as well. So for all those different kinds of types of projects, we will going to create separate folders. For basic concepts, we have made a general folder, and all those existing topics are moved inside it. You can see these changes are already pushed on repository. So from now onwards, we will be managing different types of project under these folders. As today is going to be another concept, which is struct in C Sharp. So for that one, we will be again creating a folder, and this time that folder will be inside general folder. We will say 22, and that is our structs in C Sharp. And let's create a brand new console application, and we can name it 21 structs, and inside the general folder we will be having 21 dash structs folder inside it. Let's select this one and select this folder, and we can create the project on .NET 7.0. Let's create it. All right, so before starting, let me explain what is a struct. So there are two concepts in the .NET application. One is the uh, class, and other one is struct. In other words, we can say that structs are value types and class are reference types, right? And what we mean by that is whenever we create a class, the reference or the memory allocation is done on heap, and whenever we create the struct, which means the value types, the reference goes to the what we can say on the stack, right? uh, so the mechanism is that whatever value is put on the stack is directly can be accessed directly, because there is no reference involved. Every time we access or assign a stack or the value type into another value type variable, a new copy is created, right? But for the objects, in the case of objects, there will be created a reference type. The copy of the reference, the address is assigned to the new object, but the actual memory allocation will be the same, that was assigned at the first place. So this is the way those two different types work, the value types and the reference types. Value types are faster, but whenever there is a big object, and whenever there is multiple properties are involved inside a value types, or we are making the multiple copies of that object, it's not recommend to use value types. On the other hand, the uh, reference types are recommended. whenever we want to use an object multiple time, or we want to create a properties, multiple properties inside a class, then we recommend the reference type, which is class in our case. So let's go ahead and create a struct type, and by name we can guess that it would be the struct keyword. Let's create a struct of let's say point, and in a point we know that there is an x coordinate value and there is a y coordinate value. um, this is first thing. We can have multiple properties inside a struct. We can do that, we can create it this way, and we can have multiple constructors as well, but we can't have a constructor without any parameters. So if we want to create a point with no parameters, we will have an error, right? So that error says we can't have a constructor without any parameter. But if we want to add a parameter, the error should go away. In our case, must fully assign before control. Yeah, that's right. So we want a constructor, but each property inside that struct should be assigned from within that constructor, like this dot x is equal to x and this dot y is equal to y, and the error gone away, right? So this is the main big difference, we can see that. And even we can have a constructor with static keyword, and in this case point access modifier not allowed on static constructor. Okay, so we can have a constructor without parameter, but in that case the constructor should be static. So this is the second main difference between class and a struct. Third difference is we can't extend or implement, we can't actually extend a struct from a struct or struct from a class, which means we can't extend it from program class like this. We will have an error. Type program in interface list is not an interface, right? We can't even public struct shape. We can't even extend a struct from a struct this way. We will again have a same error, right? So this is the third main difference. But we can implement interface, right? So struct can implement interfaces, but they can't inherit from a class or inherit from a struct type. That was the fourth main difference. The fifth main difference is we can't seal a struct, right? See, we can't seal a struct, right? So if we want to try to seal a struct, we will have an error. The modifier seal is not valid in this item, right? So this was the fifth difference. So those are the main 5 differences between class and struct. A struct should only be created whenever we want to access our properties or our structure, you know, uh, whenever we want a fast access, but we should be careful that if there are multiple uh, properties are involved and there will be, excessive use of this struct, we should go for a class just to make sure we are not overburdened with the memory allocation. So these were the 5 main differences. Let me uh, now try to create the object of that struct, which is the, let's create point uh, reference point. So to initialize a struct, it's not, required to use new keyword. That is the 6th and the bonus difference, right? So we can we can use a new keyword, but we can go without that as well. Point 2, we can go this way as well. For the above point, let's say we mention 5 comma 10, and for the second point 2 dot x is equal to 20, and point 2 dot y is equal to 30, and what it says, unassigned local variable. So what if we go with the null? No. Okay, so let me see how we can assign it with the value. So what if we just remove that struct keyword from here, and let's say we remove this one as well. Use of unassigned local variable point 2. What could be the other possibilities? Let's find out. Let's have a look. What are the other possibilities we can have? So what if we have those values assigned with string dot also 0, and this one is 0 as well? No. Right. Okay, so now you can see that we can have a variable of type point without initializing it. We can assign it some values as well, and that should be working fine. So if we go and write console.writeLine and the point 2.x, and we should be able to see its value. Let me mark that one as startup project, and let's run this one, and you can now see that we have that value printed on the console. So let me quickly list down those all 6 differences. um, Differences between struct and a class, uh, oops, and a class. Number one, um would be uh struct cannot have empty constructor. Number two, structs cannot be inherited from a class or another struct. Number third point was it can implement interfaces. Number four was what was the fourth one? Can create create can we can say can initialize with and without new keyword. And what was the fifth one? I forgot that one as well. Yeah, struct can have empty static constructor. Right, so those are the 5 main differences, and you can explore bit more by playing with them. So these are the main differences, we can say. We will try to keep exploring those on the top of over this base explanation and base difference episode. So that was all from this video. Hope you will understand the value of structs and the use case. The most important thing is when to use struct instead of classes. So keep watching Tech and Talk for for clarification of any points to ask in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.